right, this thing on? It is on. It is on. Test one, two, three. Hey, welcome back to the Green Logbook. Have not been able to get on here too often lately. Had a lot of stuff going on, but nonetheless, happy to be back on here to do a live stream and connect with the veteran community with that whole camaraderie thing that I'm trying to establish and talk with you all about it. Been utilizing these VA benefits lately, and I fully believe that everybody out there should be doing the same thing. If you rate it, why not use your VA benefits? Right. So we're going to be talking a little bit about this. I came up with probably some sort of a list that I was concocting, I suppose, on the most underutilized VA benefits, veteran benefits. And I'll be making a full video on this later. But today I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about it. And here, let me adjust this thing here. I want to talk a little bit about it and see what folks are using out there and what folks maybe have not used in the past. As I've talked about it, gosh, I don't know how often I'm using like the VRD benefits. And this is one of probably my top three most underutilized benefits. When I talk to veterans, they're like, tell me more about this. Wait a second. It gives you a housing stipend. Wait a second. It pays for everything. Just this morning, I emailed my VRD counselor and I asked for what the hell did I asked for a couple of things. So you can ask for things as long as you could justify these things, right? And what the hell did I just send them here? Let me see. I'll pull it up. Oh gosh. Oh, here it goes. Okay. I requested a curved monitor. Right now, I have a monitor. Monitor's old as hell, right? It's pixelated and all that stuff. Um, so my son has a 34-inch curved monitor that I set up here as well. And I'm like, man, this thing looks amazing compared to my old thing. So I requested one of those. See how it goes. I don't know. Time will tell, depending on whether or not the VRD counselor will approve this stuff. So more to come on that one. I requested a recording device. So I found this cool recording device online, and it's called Plod. So I'm not sponsored by these folks or anything, but what it does is that you can sit there and listen to lectures while you're sitting in school, and it looks like probably about the size of this little hard drive right here, right? And I could easily use my iPhone as well, but I don't want to mix up the iPhone stuff with all my other school stuff. So this thing right here, well, this is a hard drive, but the plot is about that big from what I gather. And it'll record the lectures and it'll transcribe it, using whatever AI or whatever it is. And then it'll automatically, you can plug it into your notes. So that looks like a good piece of gear. And I requested earphones. So drowning out noise, listen to lectures on the go that I'm recording, all this good stuff. So very cool stuff. Now, I'm not saying that any of this stuff is going to get approved by the VRD counselor, uh, but you don't know unless you ask. So I provided him a list of things that I'm requesting and the justification for those things, right? Um, so as long as you have justification of why they would work, potentially you'll get them approved. That's how I got my master's degree approved for this. I'm in class now. I had to take a break from my eyes started to burn because I've been up since I don't know like 6, trying to knock out some stuff. I got a paper due and all that. So school is a whole different animal, right? Especially like these accelerated courses, which I jumped into. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see here. So today I wanted to talk about VA benefits and why you should use your VA benefits. Don't let those things just rot and go away. You've earned those things, utilize those things. And I started compiling a top 10 list. Some of them you may have heard of a lot. Some of them you may not have heard of as much, but they're not for everybody, but they're kind of like a list I compiled on things that maybe folks should know about that they should use. Let me see here. So let's see which one. Which one should I give out first? Let's talk a little bit about this. So you may not know about aid in attendance for those who are like housebound, right? Folks who can't get around the house, who need assistance to get around their house, right? So that's extra money added to your VA pension. It's underused because there's studies that found that 62% of pension recipients might be eligible, but only 22% receive these enhanced benefits, mainly due to lack of awareness. A lot of people don't even know they exist. I've spoken to a few Vietnam veterans who have like almost zero ratings, if any, and these folks don't even know about it. So just know that it's out there, aid and attendance. A lot of this stuff is on the VA website. You'd have to like go and search for it. You'd have to go in and figure it out. And they don't make it very easy to find out about this. And you may have a lot of VA benefits that are like state only benefits, right? Like in California, they have CalVet, right? So if you have, I think it's 100% VA disability, then your kids go to school for free. So a state school for free. I think Texas has the same thing, like Hazelwood Act. Is it Hazelwood Act? Correct me if I'm wrong. So there are many states out there who have a ton of great veteran benefits that maybe folks don't know about. Let me see here. Um, what do we got in the? I'm going to the comments here real quick. All right, Candle Plank. Shout out. Okay, shout out to Kendall Plank. Ashley Hill, welcome to the Green Logbook. Navy Cop, always welcome to the Green Logbook. My man, how are you, man? Says, as for as large of a VA hospital system we have out here, they definitely don't advertise much in the way of offerings. Need to make some connections, see what I can find. Yeah, they don't. They don't advertise it, and they should. Um, what was it? I recently went to that whole health thing. And I think I made a whole video on this thing on the VA's whole health program. And Navy Cop, I should probably send you this thing, man, to add on there because this thing has like all these different organizations and nonprofits that offer, creative arts, and there's animal therapy, mind and body therapy, sports and recreation, veteran service organizations, peer support, volunteering, passes and licenses, basically all the things that you really rate outside of just the VA. There's a lot of nonprofits that offer a lot of free stuff, as we talked about, I think like pro bono, right? If you're talking legal stuff. So this one specifically is for VA San Diego healthcare. So I don't know how well it would do on your site, but it is something to put on there potentially. And yes, Real Trump said, smash the like. I appreciate you, man. Um, it looks at it. I looked at hers and nothing. Okay, yeah. I would have to get it scanned. I don't know if they have it online, but it is the va.gov/whole health. Community recreation resources for San Diego County. So, and I'm curious to see what other states have like that. So I know that they all have different VA whole health systems. Like I mentioned up in, if you go up to like North County around Camp Pendleton, they have like this woodworking workshop for veterans. Whereas in more central San Diego, they have like a musical workshop for veterans. So different VAs have different things that they offer, right? But we never know until we ask and until we find out. Or if some person finds out, pass on the information, right? hmm I agree with you. Yes, in the year 2026, our veterans still don't know all the benefits available to them. There are a lot of them. There's always something popping up as well. And shit, I mean, I don't consider myself an expert in really almost anything, but I have gained a lot of information on VA benefits through this channel and doing research and all that. And even so, I'm still learning a lot about VA benefits. I'm still learning about new stuff that's out there that I have never even heard of. So yeah, I agree with you. In 2026, veterans still don't know all the benefits available to them, and that's why channels like this exist and comments like yours exist as well to get the word out. Let me see something I can use when talking to whoever their outreach people are. Absolutely, absolutely. You could bring it up to them like, "Hey, look, here's what San Diego County's doing. Why are we not doing something like this?" I mean, what do they do up in Washington State? What do you guys do? Like whale fishing or some shit? Like what? You can have some veterans that go like a whaling or something. Whatever you guys do for fun up in Washington State, climb trees. I don't know what the hell you guys do. Um, yes, yeah, absolutely. Let me see. I'm looking at some other underutilized veteran benefits here. Um, so the VA app is really good. They just updated this thing, or I don't know if they just updated it. I just downloaded, I should say, and they make it very easy now to message a provider. I don't have to go and log into like ID.me or login dot whatever the hell, and on the desktop, I can just that's one of the very few apps that I really love having on the phone. And another thing is, you can, for one, message your provider. For two, do your travel and mileage reimbursement, which is not a lot, but it's something, especially if you are going there constantly. So that's another beneficiary or benefit that a lot of VA uh, beneficiaries or veterans who rate this stuff overlook. And it says why it's underused. VA documentation has estimated 60% of eligible veterans use the online travel reimbursement system, implying a big chunk of eligible folks aren't claiming it. This is straight coming from what's the website here? Give me a second. It's pulling up travel. Oh yeah, yeah. This is straight from the beneficiary travel self-service system assessing Veterans Health Administration Veterans Transportation Program. So it's from their PDF. They make it super easy now on the VA website. Just go in there, click it, bam. You have 3 claims to submit because you've been to the VA hospital or an appointment, and just bam, hit the thing, submit your claim. It could be a couple bucks, it could be $10, $20, whatever it is, depending on how long the mileage is to for you to get to your destination, to get to the VA and get that money back that you have earned. Um, yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. Give me a loud chi-hoo. That was nonstop in my house when we were living in Hawaii. Nonstop. Oh yeah. Good to have you on here. So we do natural nature healing, equine therapy, canine therapy, and much more. Camping, hunting, hiking, etc. We also provide service dog suicide intervention and prevention and emergency housing for veterans. Excellent. In the Southeast USA. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. There's a I forgot the equine therapy dude that I connected with. He lives somewhere in the Midwest, and he has a ranch out there randomly. Like he does like business operations. I connected with this guy on LinkedIn, and then randomly he's like, "Hey, yeah, I have like this equine farm, ranch or something. Brings veterans on there." So I don't know too much about it, but I know it does help, and nature healing does help. I love getting lost in the woods and just kind of chilling out there. So I know the power of kind of sitting there around nature, around greenery, especially when I was in Hawaii. It's so green out there, up in the mountains, and really anywhere, right? Um, it's beautiful. It does release a lot of tension. It does. I've been getting a lot of mail on VA home loan IRRRL streamlined financing. So I'm gonna have to check into that. Potentially, that's another VA benefit. IRRL benefit. Let me see. It stands for the interest rate reduction refinance loan or streamline refinance. Helps homeowners with existing VA loans lower their monthly payments and interest rates with minimal paperwork, no required appraisal, and often no out of pocket costs. It offers a fast, simple process to switch from an adjustable rate to a fixed rate mortgage with a reduced zero point 0.5 funding fee. This is straight from va.gov. So it lowers payments and rates, no appraisals required, minimal paperwork, no out of pocket costs, lower funding fee, no occupancy requirements. The home does not have to be your primary residence as long as you have previously lived there. Huh. And no prepayment penalty, no fees for paying off the loan early, which should be a given. But I guess it's not. So the IRRRL, I've been getting a lot of those. I thought it was like junk mail, and for the most part, it is because it's from all these random mortgage companies. But I might have to look into that as mortgage rates are kind of going down a little bit more. So not that my mortgage rate is high, but a lot of times they call and I'm like, yeah, my rate is already lower than what you're offering. So negative. Let's see. Navy Cop says, so far I have found several no nonprofits in the region, but nothing listed by RVA. Yeah, so they're not going to be listed by the VA. So the VA just kind of somebody compiled this in the VA, and there's a thing down here that says the VA does not endorse the following providers. This is only to provide information on community services. So it may just have to be a community services type of thing, not like VA sponsored type of deals. Uh, Rio Trump said, I spent quite a lot of time in Hawaii. It's nature. Yes, it is nature at its finest. I miss the North Shore sunset and backyards beach. Yeah, in the 80s and 90s. Yeah. I spent a lot of time. We lived in Kailua when I was out there and beautiful beaches too. But I've got a lot of family out there on the island as well on Oahu. So a lot of family that's been living there for several generations. So yes, very beautiful place. We love to go back every so often. Let's see. Texas Veteran Land Board is a benefit for Texas veterans to purchase land. Awesome. So I'm curious about the Texas Veteran Land Board. So I don't live in Texas, but I am curious. I have a lot of friends who do live in Texas. Is that something like the VA loan? Is there like a funding fee with the Texas Land Board? Now you got me curious. Let me write this thing down. The Texas Land Board. Let's see. Another one. Of course, this one always shows up for one of the most underutilized VA benefits. The one that I'm utilizing right now is the VRNE, completely paid for. But a lot of folks just think it's a just get help me get a job type of benefit, but they don't realize that it can cover a whole lot, like education, training, employment help, accommodations, even business support, um, even childcare. That was something new to me. So I was reading, yeah, it was M28C section 3.03 subsection K. Holy crap, how the hell do I remember that? Childcare. VRD could potentially reimburse you for childcare or give you the money for childcare. And I think it's capped off at like a certain amount per year, maybe. I've read on Reddit that people I've read on Reddit. I've been on Reddit and read that people have gotten reimbursements of like 1,200. Somebody mentioned 1,700. I personally have not used the benefit. I have no need for the benefit. However, if you have small children and you are in need of some kind of childcare, maybe while you're in school, definitely check that out under VRNE. M28C 3, paragraph 3.03, section K. That's where you'll find that. Let me see. They also give you a monthly subsistence allowance. which I was in class yesterday, and the majority, like 90% of my class, are veterans. Um, One guy already had his MBA. He's working on his second master's degree and then going into a PhD right after that, which is something I'm playing around with as well. And he's using every bit of his GI Bill. Like he's using the last bit of his GI Bill to do this degree. The lady sitting behind me also using her GI Bill and applying for VRNE. So I was like, hey, look, check out the green logbook. I'll help you out if you need it, whatever. Um, but yeah, a lot of folks don't realize that you get the subsistence allowance, which is equal to E5 with dependents BAH. See, as I normally do, let me do this real quick. I'll share the link on here if anybody wants to jump on the live stream. Bam, here you go. Here's a link. I won't be on here too long. I have this the school thing is really like a full-time job in itself, so I have to read and write some papers and discussions, all this good stuff. However, if you want to jump on the live stream and talk a little bit about what you have going on, maybe some unknown benefits, maybe some benefits that you want to share with the community, please feel free to share it on here. Another benefit that came across was the GI Bill reimbursements for licensing and certification tests and national exams. So it says it's underused because it's not specifically school, so people don't think to use GI Bill entitlement for it, even though the VA explicitly allows reimbursement for these tests. So if you're going to be taking these tests, don't go out of pocket for it. You may have to go out of pocket for it up front, but the VA will reimburse you for this stuff. And I have sources for everything. And that's one thing that you'll find about my channel is when I give you information on something, I'm going to provide you a source on it. Okay. Again, this one's off the VA. So I can provide all the sources to all these things that I'm giving you right now. I'm just not going off the top of my head or, I'm not just talking BS. This is all sourced here. I can give you a legit website, either .mil.gov.edu site where I'm finding all this stuff. Um, Let me see here. VA can reimburse approved tests. Yep, VA can reimburse approved test costs up to limits for license and certs and national tests, admission and credit exams. Go into the comments here really quick. I appreciate hearing the help people are getting from VRNE, but damn, it's a sore point. Yeah, man, I understand your frustrations, man. Apply again, man. Apply again. If you need assistance with the justification, dude, Navy cop, man, we know each other. We've talked for quite a bit, man. I'd be happy to help you out if you need assistance with any part of it. Second set of eyes or something like that. Um, yeah, just let me know. Let me know. Yeah. Okay. So Navy cop, I'm gonna give you guys folks are asking about your site here. Let me give you a shout out on here. Should bring up the site. Navy cop is freaking is has been going full force with this website, man. He's been doing some awesome stuff. So Navy cop runs buddycheckproject.com. Let me get my ugly mug out of the way. Buddycheckproject.com. Bunch of good stuff on here, resources and support, medium podcast projects, news and updates, documentation, wiki, heritage. The store is coming soon. So, for instance, support, no veteran left behind. What else you got on here? Featured veteran businesses, Sailor Made. So, always updating this, man. That's what I love about this. Has all the social media stuff on there. It's like a one-stop shop, right? Let me turn this damn thing on. Give me a second here. All right. Let me see here. Going to the comments really quick. So yeah, buddycheckproject.com. And Navy Cop, man, if you got any updates on Buddy Check Project that folks should know about, please either jump on the live stream or share it in the comments here, man, because I know you're constantly updating this stuff, man. I really do appreciate you for that. Excuse me. Here, people are getting, yeah, I try to get, Real Trump said, I try to keep our services out of the conversation on YouTube as many simply love to attack the efforts. Yeah, yeah. But, uh, just like I don't know who mentioned it in the comments earlier, like a lot of veterans simply don't know what they rate. And it's kind of a sore point for me as well. Like when I have conversations with veterans, out in town or whenever I get into conversations with other vets and I'm like, hey man, do you know about this? Do you know about that? Are you using this? You rate this stuff. They're like, no, I don't. I'm like, damn, dude, how much time you have? Let's sit down and talk about everything that you rate, dude, because people simply don't know. That's why, channels like Buddy Check Project, Green Logbook, Military Retirement Podcast, that's why we exist. Mm, why do I think the Richard Starr Act has not passed yet? Don't know. Votes? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. I have to do some digging on that today. Yeah. Yeah, Buddy Check Project. Yeah. Thanks. Concise Psych, my man. All right. I've seen your channel before. Jumping on to say great channel and thanks for spreading the information on topics you cover for veterans. Absolutely, man. We got to talk, dude. Concise Psych. Um, Curious about your perspective on things too. I think I mentioned it here before. I'm currently going through I'm doing a master's in human behavioral psychology simply because I like the topic. I like talking to veterans about certain things. I'm not going to be a psychologist per se, but more so to help organizations and veterans and things like that, nonprofits, um, get their foot forward. But yeah, would love to connect with you, man. You're putting out some great information yourself. I appreciate you. I'm at work, but I'm looking at creating a basic newsletter that will also feature updates and such. Don't let work find out, man. You're malingering, dude. You're don't let your work find out that you're creating newsletters while you're at work. Oh man. I just took a Vietnam War veteran this week to make his first claim ever. 50 plus years. Wow. He had never been to the VA. There's many just like him. My father never went. The VA failed him and is failing. Yeah, there are a lot of veterans like that, man. I have one in my family, Vietnam veteran who does not have a claim by the grace of God or whatever you believe in. This dude has made some incredible financial decisions in his time, and he's living okay now. He's got a good life, and he has no desire of submitting a VA disability claim. He's in his 90s. I want to say 90. I think he's 90, and yeah, at this point, he's like he just doesn't want to do any kind of exams or anything like that. He's just hanging out. He's good being at home. Hey, Navy cop, man. Hold on, it says we need Navy cop, no stitching on stitching. No, 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 hell no. Navy cop, man. Hopefully, your boss is not a fan of the Green Law Book, man, because you guys may be on the same stream and not even know it. That's freaking hilarious, man. Yeah, yeah. That's the thing with these Vietnam veterans, right? Like they're older. They're not going to want to sit through CMP exams and stuff, man. And that's exactly what this gentleman, the man in my family who is a Vietnam veteran, um, he just doesn't want to go through any kind of exams or anything. He's not, you know, he's good where he is. Yeah, there you go. So Navy cop, man, you just have to. It's all about justification, right? You just have to justify it. Like I'm doing research to make me a better. What do you do? Security. It can apply to anything. Security officer. I'm doing research online right now to make sure that I'm up to speed on all the things security wise for whatever you do. That's excellent, man. Going back to these veteran benefits here. So let's talk about Champ VA really quick. Healthcare coverage for eligible family members. So it says why it is missed mostly. People confuse it with TRICARE, assuming that family has nothing. Assume family has what? People confuse it with TRICARE or don't realize it exists once the veteran is eligible. It's a cost sharing health benefit program for spouses, dependent survivors who meet eligibility rules. Okay. So I believe it works like this. If you rate TRICARE, like retired, you rate TRICARE, then you don't rate, then you do not rate Champ VA. So, Champ VA benefits if you're the spouse, dependent, or survivor of veterans, a veteran who meets certain service connected disability requirements, you may qualify for health care benefits through civilian healthcare medical program of the Department of Veterans Affairs, Champ VA. Eligibility for Champ VA, at least one of these must be true. You're the spouse or dependent of a dependent child. No, you're the spouse or dependent child of a veteran who's been rated permanently and totally disabled, or the surviving spouse or dependent child of a veteran who died from service connected disability, or you're the surviving spouse or dependent child of a veteran who was at the time of their death rated permanently and totally disabled from a better service connected disability. All right. So there's another route to get your medical stuff covered. Champ VA. So some folks don't have that. That's fine. Now you know to research that stuff. And let me see here. Yes, justification. Real Trump said justification. Yeah, concise psych. The coursework can be a beast. Yes. I took a break. Like I mentioned, I was up probably about 6 in the morning. It's 10 right now where I am. And it's this week I had a paper, two-page paper due. And mind you, this is the first week of class. Discussion question, two discussion questions, excuse me. And I forgot what else. Working on the final assignment for the course. So yeah, it was kind of a beast, but it's a hybrid form, right? So in order to get the full benefit of the VA or the VRE, you would go hybrid, um, which means not completely your butt in the seat in class the whole time, but in order to meet that hybrid standard to get the full amount of the housing allowance, uh, I sit in class 2 times, and the rest is all online. That suffices for the full time in class benefit to get the full monthly housing allowance. And a lot of my, the colleagues or the fellow classmates are all veterans as well. So we just got to talking yesterday. I was in class and got to talking about everything. And these folks are like, "Yeah, I'm using GI Bill." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm using VRNE." "Oh, what's that like?" "Oh, let me tell you about it." It's just so like one thing led to another to another. But that's how you network. And then we exchange like emails and stuff like that. I'm like, "Hey, we'll see you on there." Blah blah. Blah. So one guy is going for his PhD. The other lady is, I don't know what the hell she's doing, but there's a lot of networking opportunities with all of this, and behind folks that are doing essentially the same thing, wanting to get into like a veteran kind of sphere to help progress the field of this mind, brain, and psych field. Um, yeah, yeah, it does sound 660 love. Welcome to the Green Logbook. It all sounds great on paper. Yes, it does. Real Trump said it does all sound great on paper. However, we all have the ability to do these things. I'm not I'm not special. I'm not any more special than anybody else is in this chat. Uh, I just, I just thought, hey, let me try this out and let me do this. Uh, GI Bill reimbursement licensing, Champ VA. If you rate it, go out and just sign up for it. There's probably a form on va.gov to sign up for it. So it's there. Just like we say, hey, like the recruiting station was open to anybody. you know, if people are complaining about, oh, veterans get too many benefits. Hey, well, you could have signed up too. Now with the VA, now that we're all veterans, we all can sign up for a lot of these things as well. It's just a matter of, can you find the time to do that? That's it. Let me see. Yeah, shout out to Wild Bill's Craft Beverage Company, by the way. They're the ones sponsoring today's video. Wild Bill's Craft Beverage Company. Shout out to them. They're always looking for folks to bring on to their franchises. So wanted to give them a shout out. They get 50% off and a ton of support for veterans and first responders looking to jump in on and become a franchisee. So which shout out to Wild Bill's Craft Beverage Company. Another big one is VA DIP, which is VA Dental Insurance Program. So as I understand it, if you have 100% VA disability, you can get dental work or be seen at dental at a VA facility, right? So there's also VA DIP. It says many veterans learn the hard way that VA dental care isn't automatically included, and they don't realize there's a VA facilitated dental insurance option. It's a discounted private dental insurance option for eligible veterans and eligible family members, including certain CHAMP VA beneficiaries. Dental can be expensive. Okay, it can really be expensive, especially if you got you got a jacked up grill. You need some freaking some surgery on there or something, some like root canals. I don't know the terminology for dental stuff, but if you got some jacked up fangs, man, you need to get some kind of dental insurance, right? And so VA DIP might be the way you go about it. As I understand it, 100% VA disabled folks can get free or covered dental insurance at VA disability or VA healthcare centers. If not, they also have this VA dental insurance program. Actually, let me open this thing up here and check this whole thing out. It says, am I eligible for VA dental insurance? Well, one of these must be true. You're a veteran who's enrolled in VA healthcare. Okay, that's a lot of us. You're the current or surviving spouse or dependent child of a veteran or service member, and you're enrolled in the civilian healthcare medical program of the VA, which is CHAMP VA. VA DIP provides coverage throughout the United States and territories like Puerto Rico, Guam, U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa, and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. I don't know anybody who lives in the Northern Mariana Islands. Do you? VA DIP started as a temporary program. It's now a permanent VA program with no end date. And insurance carriers may offer separate coverage options for dependents who aren't CHAMP VA beneficiaries. So, bam, sis, you got dental insurance right there. Okay. If you're a veteran who's enrolled in VA healthcare, you could get VA dental insurance through VA DIP. Check them out. Let's see what else we got here. What about like any kind of state benefits that people may not know about? Excuse me. I know there's like the big ones like property tax exemption in a lot of states. Property tax exemption, which is huge, right? Because property taxes, I don't know why. I understand why there's property taxes, but I hate the idea of property taxes because it's almost like you're never going to own your home, right? You're never going to own it completely outright, own it, right? Unless you live like off the grid or something like that. And I hate the idea of that, but there's a property tax exemption in many states. California has yet to have one. SB 296, I'm watching you. I'm following up on that, and I'm tracking that closely. Uh, but wondering out there in different states, what kind of benefits do you have that most veterans really don't know about too much? Curious about that. All right, let me read your thing here. Um, I signed up for my GI Bill, paid in, served honorable for multiple enlistments, got out, built a business, had a family. It took 10 years. Got ready to go to college on my GI Bill. VA said no. I was 3 months past the 10-year deadline. I never knew there was a deadline. So, were you using the post 9/11, no, the Montgomery? I assume it was the Montgomery GI Bill, right? Because I think the post 9/11 is also dubbed as the Forever GI Bill. So I assume you're using the Montgomery GI Bill. Is that correct? It would be worth, uh, yeah, MGI Bill. Okay. It would be worth connecting with other people who are in your same shoes. So I bring this up because of the Rudisill Act. Remember the Rudisill Act, the one that gives you another 12 months on top of your post 9/11 GI Bill if you served during the time where you had to switch from the Montgomery GI Bill to the post 9/11 GI Bill. It went from 48 months to 36 months. So essentially, you lost that extra 12 months. Army Captain Rudisill, I forgot his first name, but last name Rudisill, he attempted to use those extra 12 months and he was told no. He took his case to an attorney, took it up to the Supreme Court, won that. Now, what I'm hearing is now folks automatically get it. I have yet to receive that email, but as far as I know, you have to sign up for the Rudisill Act, the kicker, the 12 months extra on top of your GI Bill. So what I'm getting to is if there's enough people in your same shoes who have attempted to use their GI Bill benefits, their Montgomery GI Bill benefits, but have been told, hey, no, you're past the 10-year mark and you really want to use it, uh, there could be a potential for some kind of action that some attorney might want to take pro bono because you would have rated this, but because you were building a family, you were focusing on yourself, to make sure that you were good before you started school. I'd check me personally, if I was in those shoes, man, I would check that out. I would connect with folks who are in that. Maybe there's a Facebook group, maybe start a Facebook group on it, start doing a petition, start getting a hold of an attorney, start ramping this stuff up because um, I hate the idea that you are not getting what you worked for, man. I really do. That does not sit well with me. Yeah, 100 a month for 12 months. Yeah, I remember the kicker, man. I paid for that. When I paid for the kicker, there was somebody who I went to, gosh, it was like the finance office. I had like an allotment at one point when I had deployed to Iraq, and they asked me if I knew about the kicker. And I'm like, what the hell's the kicker? And I remember it. They're like, "Oh yeah, $100 a month for 12 months, $1,200 total, and it'll give you a boost in your GI Bill or something." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I didn't ask many questions about it. I'm like, "Okay, I guess if it'll give me a boost, take $1,200 out of my account." Don't ever know whatever happened to that. No, have zero idea whatever happened to that. But I was just a silly freaking E4 who was deployed and just heard, "Hey, extra money for college on the back end? Yeah, I'll do it." And that's what that was. Let me see here. I'm looking at more. Oh yeah, let me add this on here just in case anybody. Okay. I figured it out. 38,000 plus interest since I got out how much they owe me. It's insane. Yeah, you're never going to get the government to give you the interest back, but they could, however, uh, give you some sort of maybe switch you to the post 9/11 GI Bill after the fact. I don't know unless it would have to be something that gets brought up to like the Supreme Court. Yeah, man, you'll get me all fired. You should be fired up, man. I'm glad you are, dude, because you earned this shit, man. You earn these benefits, dude. There's no reason why they should say, hey, because you started a family, because you were concentrating on your priorities, and now you want to use your benefits, that they are no longer available to you because hey, you're 3 months past the time limit. That's some bullshit. Yeah, it is a principle. Let me see what I got here. All right, next one is one of the next ones on my list of most underutilized or most unknown VA benefits. VA life insurance options, especially VA life, also VGLI for recent separations. Why it's missed? People separate and either A, forget insurance entirely, or B, assume they'll be denied elsewhere and don't realize VA has specific lanes. So, yes, life insurance. I talk a lot about this on some of my other channels. Shit, I even linked up with AMFI Life, American Fidelity Life Insurance, because I believe that they're doing great things with educating service members on rolling over their life insurance. They're helping service members and veterans in their life insurance endeavors. One of the big things I constantly kick myself in the ass about. Not so much anymore because I'm at a good spot now. I found a good life insurance, but was not getting life insurance when I was getting out of the military or before I actually submitted my VA disability stuff, because prices will go up, they'll skyrocket, and kind of a pain, right? But it's if you smoke, it's going to be even more expensive. If you drink, if you have like risk assessment, they do the whole assessment stuff. It's going to be even more expensive. So, and or if you're like boring like me and just we can just do whatever the hell every day, just you may get some pretty good life insurance. I don't smoke, I don't drink, nothing like that. Um, Specifically, they're talking about VA life is guaranteed acceptance whole life for service connected veterans age 80 or under, even 0% rating. Okay, that's on the Veterans Affairs site. I would say personally, check out American Fidelity Life Insurance because if anything, just to get an idea of where you are and what you want to do, because they're the ones I linked up with. They sponsor the channel as well. So just FYI, just want to put that out there. Yeah, going back to the comments, I don't want the money. It's the principle. Yeah, absolutely, it is the principle, man. Most never knew there was time limit. I agree with you on that. A lot of people did not know that there was a time limit on the Montgomery GI Bill. Um, and a big reason again why channels like this exist to get the information forward to the masses, right? I enjoy doing the research on this stuff, so why keep all the knowledge to myself, push it out to the masses? Why not? Let's see. I had Montgomery GI Bill. VA verification for the extra 12 months is based on post 9/11. I'm not sure how to fix that, huh? That's something that you may need to talk to the VA about. I don't know. Not exactly sure. Let's see what we got here. Next thing on my list here. Burial allowances and burial and VA national cemeteries. Okay, let's talk about this one. All right. Says why it's missed. Families often don't learn about it until after the fact, and deadlines slash eligibility details get lost in the chaos. Okay, I recall being on duty when I was still back in uniform. The staff duty officer, uh, and then you get calls. You get calls. Hey, I'd like to get a like the color guard or the funeral detail to do a funeral for a gentleman who passed away. How do I go about doing that? There was a specific number that I would connect them to, right? But it was a lot of people, a lot of folks, and this was when I was in North Carolina in Camp June. So I was funny enough, I was also the funeral detail OIC. So I conducted many funerals out in North Carolina with military honors during my time out there. So funny that I was on SDO and I kept getting calls about that. Honestly, one of the best honors I've ever had in my military career was doing funeral detail, being the funeral detail commander for probably half a year. Um, just such an honor. So this is true that these burial allowances, a lot of families don't realize it until the it's time. The person passes away. Um, It says the VA may provide burial allowances and other burial memorial benefits. VA also publishes the current allowance amounts and rules. So let's check that out here really quick. Burial benefits. Let's remove that here real quick. Come on, damn it. Screen. There we go. Share this beast. Okay. Burial allowances and transportation benefits. All right. Am I eligible for allowances to help pay for a veteran's burial and funeral costs? All right. You may be eligible. What's this? One of these relationships or professional roles describes your connection with the veteran. You're the veteran, veteran surviving spouse. You're the veteran's surviving. Okay. Well, we don't need all that. We already know all that. You can't get burial allowances for certain individuals. We don't provide burial allowances. Okay. This is the VA. If individuals died in any of these ways, on active duty, while serving a member of Congress, while serving federal prison sentence. Okay. So active duty has a different route to go in. Okay. What kind of burial benefits can I get? Payments called burial allowance help you cover some of the burial and funeral costs. Payments called plot or interment allowance help you cover some of the plot, gravesite, or interment costs. VA transportation reimbursement for the cost of transporting the veteran's remains to the final resting place will pay you back the costs you pay directly if you have a receipt in your name. Okay. We should probably track this right here, right? Is there a time limit? I know that's a big one. Documents you need to submit, medical records. Okay, so a whole lot of stuff, but you get the idea. You get the idea. So burial allowances. It's not something that a lot of us like to talk about, but it is it's a real thing in life. Not everybody's going to live forever. We're going to have to be put somewhere. Um, Whether or not it's at like a national cemetery, a local cemetery, wherever it is, just know that the VA can help you cover costs, your costs. So, yeah, worm food. I did see something that was pretty interesting. Was being buried, but as part of a tree. So, like you're like buried in like I guess in the roots of the tree. I don't know exactly, or the bulb or something. I don't know how exactly it works. And then your body, I guess the ashes, you become that tree or something. Uh, Pretty cool idea. So I don't know exactly what I'd like to do. Just kind of put me in the corner somewhere and let me hang out. Put me in the concrete of the house or something. Pour me there. Let me see. There is the Foreign Medical Program, the FMP says If you live and travel abroad and need care for service-connected conditions, VA may cover eligible costs. Okay, let's look at this beast real quick because travel may be coming up soon, and I might want to check this out. So, foreign medical program. Let's look at this guy. Add that sucker to the stage here. If you're a veteran who gets medical care outside the U.S. for a service-connected condition, we may cover the cost of your care. Read this page to find out. Let's read this page to find out together, shall we? If you get medical care in a country outside the U.S., we can only cover the cost of services that are medically necessary to meet at least one of these descriptions. The services are for VA-rated service-connected disability, for example, an illness or injury caused or made worse by your military service, or services are for a condition that's associated with service-connected disability that we determine makes the disability worse or aggravates it, or the services are part of care you're receiving as you participate in our veteran readiness and employment program. Huh. Okay. So what I gather from this is if you're going to be leaving the service, try to, if you have any kind of injury or in the past or anything like that, claim all that stuff. That way it's part of your medical record. You travel overseas, and it could be anything. My shoulder hurts. It's service connected. It's part of my medical record. You go to a doc overseas, and the VA could potentially cover you if you're like in Italy somewhere traveling. That's yeah. This is a pretty incredible thing. I like that foreign medical program. I've heard about it. This is the first time I'm really reading about it. So thank you for making me make this video today, this live stream. Another one is VA caregiver support and services for caregivers of eligible veterans with specific eligibility rules. Okay, so a whole lot out there. Let me see what else we got here. What about some what state? Everybody in the comments, what state are you from? I'll do some research here on the live stream. I usually don't do the research on the live stream, but I'll do it right now. Put in the comments what state you're tuning in from, and I will do some quick research on what is available in your state that maybe is unknown or little known. I know Navy Cop is in Washington. Let me see. I'm in. Okay, let's see. Ten little known veteran benefits in Washington State. Let's check it out. See what comes up. Oh, this is exciting. Research on the live stream. I don't usually do this. Ho, ho, ho. Real Trump said Florida. All right, Florida. Oh, yeah, I remember you mentioned you're in Florida. Yeah. We were looking at moving out there. That's where I grew up, partly in Florida. Great times out there. Though I didn't always hang out with the best group of people. That's what caused me to join the Marine Corps. I just knew, like, if I stayed around, I probably would have been, I don't know, working at Cece's Pizza or something. Remember Cece's Pizza? I used to work there. I think they're out of Florida. I'm not sure exactly. I grew up in the Everglades, like in the swamp thing. I never went out that way. I grew up in more so around Central Florida. Let's see. Still populating there. Navy Cop. Let's see. But yeah, probably the best benefit, and I will never stop talking about this is VRNE. The best benefit, man. Navy Cop, you got to get back on there, man. Like I said, I will help you out in reviewing this stuff. Um, Hands down, one of the best benefits. I think that the most slept on benefits that the VA offers. It pays for so much, and on top of that, it pays you for all that stuff. So I did hear that there's a school in San Francisco, a college in San Francisco that accepts, they will only accept like 30 or 40% veterans because they know what they're doing. Um, they only need you to come to class like once or twice a month to fulfill that full housing allowance benefit. And and of course, San Francisco. What's the BH in San Francisco? Let me see here. E5 BH San Francisco. It is E5 with dependents. It is about 4,000. Wait, hold on a second. What? It can't be that. Hold on. Let's look at this here real quick. About it's about damn 5,000 a month in San Francisco. So what I've heard is there's this college in San Francisco that they stop accepting so many veterans using either GI Bill or BRNE because a lot of them were flying over to San Francisco to just stay there and get the 5,000 a month monthly housing allowance, and then going back to wherever they were, Tennessee or wherever the heck they're coming from. Um, so I don't know what I just understand that they put a limit on their veterans. I can't recall the name of the school. Um, but it's interesting. But yeah, you there's a potential if you're going to school in California somewhere and you're willing to fly in, you can get that a huge monthly housing allowance rate. Right now through the VRNE, I'm currently getting a monthly housing allowance rate as well. Not currently because they pay a month later. So I attend the class here this month, and then I get it the following month. You know, I get that this month's housing allowance rate for or next month. So it's good stuff. You know, especially if that's going to be your full time gig is school for the time being. Let me see. Navy Cop. What's Navy Cop saying? I'm not into fishing, but those that are, the fishing in Montana is pretty epic. Even if you don't catch anything, the views are incredible. Yeah, yeah. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on Montana, man. Um, that sounds pretty cool. I might have to check that out. Hell yeah. So let me see here. Washington says Washington property tax relief. Washington has income-based property tax relief programs that can include VA disabled veterans compensated at 80% service connected rate. Hmm. Lifetime disabled veterans pass Washington state parks, discover past privileges. If you're a Washington state resident, veteran with 30% plus service connected disability, you can get a lifetime pass that covers free day use parking, no Discover Pass, plus perks like free camping and mortgage with updated reservation fee rules noted by WDVA. Discounted hunting and fishing licenses, designated plus designated companion help. Okay. Washington tuition waiver for dependents of certain veterans, guard members, plus possible book stipend. Very nice. Let me see. Veteran designation for your Washington driver's license, often free. That's the only update. Okay. Oh shit! What the hell did I click on? Veteran Benefits Enhancement Program (VBEP). Washington help getting connected to the VA healthcare. What? Washington's Healthcare Authority says VBEP works with WDVA to help eligible veterans and families access VA healthcare and reports program impact numbers, whatever that means. Uh, Veterans Estate Management Program (VEMP) supports veterans who need help managing finances and benefits. WDVA, that's the Washington VA, publishes program results and describes how it helps ensure essentials like food, clothing, shelter get paid from limited resources. Okay. Let me see. Veteran Housing Retention Program for Washington State. Housing Stability Program offering 6 months of case management plus limited help for essentials. It is specifically notes serving veterans in Pierce and Kitsap counties who are eligible for VA healthcare and have a qualifying discharge and who aren't already in certain other case management programs. Let's see. Okay, so I mean, honestly, I was expecting a little bit better than this Washington State, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But I mean, if there's something that you want, you gotta contact your representative about it. Like, hey, I think we should be getting this or that. Get with your representative, get some folks, get some traction behind it, and start contacting your representatives. Let's see. Oh man, this thing keeps popping off my back here. Damn it. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna need some explanation on this. Florida is so messed up. They tax veterans that are helping veterans. If you're a brother helping brothers in crisis in Florida, you must pay to register with the state of Florida and pay them. Do you mean like a nonprofit? Do you mean like an LLC, some sort of business corporation? Or what are they charging exactly, and who are they charging? Nonprofits? Yeah. So I did not know that they were charging for nonprofits, especially. I wonder if there's a reimbursement through like maybe the disabled veterans small business, something like that. What's this about? Is there somebody here? Anytime I hear the dog barking, I got to check out to see who's at the front of the house. So I'm I'm ordering a 3D printer, and I've already got an order. It's supposed to be here today, but I'm very much a fan of 3D printing. It's a great way to, for one, relieve stress, for two, tinker with things. And I'm always trying to figure things out and see what I can come up with. And there's a potential to make a whole lot of money with that if you come up with the right thing. I run a business on the side. It's called, I don't know if you heard Undercover Clip. There's the little logo, and it's all 3D printing stuff. I have a bunch of 3D printers in the garage, and I just ordered one more to just to kind of keep up with orders. So this stuff is awesome. If you ever want to talk 3D printing, I'm so down. You wouldn't believe. Let me see. Washington is not a very friendly veteran state as it used to be. Some of the legislators try, but they keep cutting back. It's always about cutting back. It's always about the cost, man. I mean, it's getting to the point where like the nonprofits are having to take over and provide what the VA pick up where the VA can't. You know, there's a lot of them out there. There's a ton of nonprofits that I'm connecting with around here in the SoCal area. Even across the way, there's a good nonprofit called AL to LA. It's this Coast Guard guy, retiree. I think he did 25 years in the Coast Guard, maybe. He has a property in Alabama. It's like 30 acres or something, and he's making that into a veteran working farm, and it's going to be pretty sick. I told him when he cuts the ribbon on that, I'd love to go out there and check it out. Sergeant Stacking, what's going on, man? It's good to see you as well, man. How's the gold and silver or the silver business coming? The what do you call those? The coins, doubloons. What do you call them? Yeah, yeah, nonprofits and mainly veterans helping other veterans. Yeah, even though those veterans don't have much. Yeah, I agree with that, man. It's it's kind of hard. A lot of these nonprofits, man, they could benefit from like good grant writers because I there are a lot of grants out there. I was just looking at let's dig deep into this real quick. Really quick. Grants.gov. Okay. Now you got me. Now you got me in my research mode, man. Silver pores. There you go. Silver pores. Those are pretty excellent, man. I like those. Grants.gov. All right. Bring this up to the stage here. Grants.gov. Let's see what they got here. Search now. Okay. Let's look up shoot. Let's look up a keyword that's veteran. Let's just look that up. Veterans Legacy Grants Program. Okay, award minimum, award maximum $400,000. So if you're a nonprofit, you could potentially apply for a piece of these grants, right? Department of Veterans Affairs National Cemetery Administration is awarding grants up to a maximum of $400,000 per recipient through the Veterans Legacy Grants Program. Grant recipients will provide tools for the public to learn about the histories of veterans interred in national cemeteries and state, territorial, and tribal veteran cemeteries. There is special interest in highlighting the histories of veterans who have significant connections to their local communities. These grants support the president's priority to recognize that our nation's security, prosperity, and freedoms would not be possible without our veterans. So, if that's something that you are into, on the history of veterans and local communities, you are, let me see, eligibility. Who's eligible? Government, state governments, private institutions of higher education, independent school districts, public, nonprofits, non-higher education, 501c3. If you are a nonprofit, sign up as a nonprofit, and this is what you're into, you could potentially get a piece of this grant. Okay. They have 2.2 million in grant funding, and the award maximum is 400,000, award minimum is 50,000. Expected awards 10. Okay. So potential that your program or whatever you want to do can get funded for this. And you do that. Homeless Veterans Reintegration Program, helping incarcerated veterans transition program, homeless women's veterans. There's a whole lot on here. Adaptive sports, announcement for stand down grants. Okay. And all I did was go to grants.gov, type in veterans if you're a nonprofit. And I think some of these are like if you're a small business as well, you can get some of these grants. Construction grant program, traumatic brain injury state partnership, and look at how much they're awarding for these things. There's a potential that, it can support your research or what you want to do. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, that wouldn't be bad to get a nonprofit going to research this stuff. Media and training development, public affairs section, funding, registered. Okay, it doesn't tell me a lot about this one. So now there's a whole lot out there, and damn it, this thing just went up. Yeah. So now you see there's a whole lot out there. As long as you do the research, as long as you just plug words into a search engine about what it is that you want to do. Um, it all looks good on paper. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah. Yeah. Never. I just landed on this site not too long ago. I was talking with a nonprofit organizer, and they mentioned about grants. They mentioned about grants that they're applying for, and I'm like, huh, let me check this out. So not just that, like states have their own grants as well, like arts partnership grants or whatever kind of grants. So this is just kind of like a federal type thing. States have their own grants that they give out. So there's a lot of money going around for things for your research, for whatever you want to do, maybe like assist veterans in doing something in mental health stuff and legacy grants programs, different things. You just got to look for it. The money's out there. You just got to look for it. If I can get my cats on the board, I'll have the numbers needed to create a nonprofit. Man, you and your cats, dude. Yeah. So a lot of stuff going around. A lot of veteran benefits that people don't know about. A lot of, I'm going to make a full on video of this, like kind of curate my top 10 most unknown and most underutilized veteran benefits, uh, because I think folks just need to know about this. You know, and I always bring it back to center is I when I was having that conversation with this lady who was talking about going back to school, and she was a Navy veteran, and I said, "Hey, uh, have you?" She only had a limited amount of GI Bill time, and she was like, "Hey, I don't know if I even have enough GI Bill time to finish to go back to school." I said, "Hey, have you looked at your VRNE?" She's like, "I heard about that." I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "But I still gotta work and stuff, so I don't know how it's gonna work with, my day job." And I'm like, "Well, they give you a housing stipend if maybe you need to take some time off of work, and that could potentially supplement that while you're going to school." She's like, "Housing stipend?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's similar to E5 with BAH." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Ma'am, let's sit down, let's talk for a second. We need to know about this stuff, about these veteran benefits that you've earned through raising your right hand and all that." So I was like, "You know what? Let me give you my card." I gave her my card here, and I'm like, "Hey, read this." And it didn't show up, but read this or go on my site, go on this my channel, or whatever, and check out these videos that I have. It'll help you out potentially. But we actually sat there and talked for maybe 20 minutes or so about this, about Viarni and how it could help her out and what she wanted to do. So, there's ways of getting things that you need. You just have to one do the research, ask questions, and explore. And sign up. At the end of the day, you have to sign up for it, right? Nothing's going to happen unless you do. Nothing's going to work unless you do. So just understand that. Let's see here. What do we got going on here? Jason, Jack McCullough, man, hey, welcome to the Green Logbook. Awesome to have you, buddy. Awesome to have you. So, yeah, a whole lot of stuff going on. I've been kind of off the news a lot lately, so I know what's happening around the world, but I'm like I haven't dove into that. Divin, dove. I haven't dove into that too much recently, as I've been trying to concentrate on school. I've been trying to concentrate on family, and I believe that all this news stuff right now is kind of a distraction for me. I do want to um, just kind of give a, I don't even know what I call it, not a shout out, but kind of a acknowledge the four service members that lost their life during this whole bombing. That's hard. It's always hard to hear that. It's always hard to hear that. I mean, we sign the papers, we raise our right hand, we kind of know what we're getting into, and there's a potential to be in danger when we go, to war, or when we deploy in theater, or overseas. There's a potential that there's danger, and but it's always hard to hear that service members are losing their life over something like this. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. Ronan Bruv, welcome to the Green Logbook, man. Welcome to the Green Logbook. Excuse me. Started stacking. I messed up by electing to use the GI Bill versus the post 9/11 and didn't exhaust it completely, and then to elect an additional 12 months on the post 9/11. Yeah, man, that's we had somebody else in the chat that just mentioned that as well. They were like 3 months past the time frame, past their 10 years, and they're like, "Yeah, sorry, we can't use it." So my suggestion, what Vic would do, is try to find other folks who are in that same boat, who maybe were going to utilize their Montgomery GI Bill and are past their time. And man, I'd be I'd be willing to entertain like some kind of a class action lawsuit or something, or bring it up somewhere. Like, hey, there's no way that it could be a rewriting. It could be some kind of executive order. It could be something that simple that says, hey, look, these folks now get to use those benefits that they've earned. These veterans now get to use benefits that they've earned. Simply because you didn't say, hey, I want this one versus that one, shouldn't be the end of it all. It could be easily be changed with a flick of a pen, but it's just a matter of getting people together, petitioning for this, finding an attorney, potentially bringing it up to some kind of court. Again, this is what Vic would probably explore. Probably because I'm a pain in the ass and I don't stop until something happens, or I don't like to stop until something happens, until like there's some kind of a change. But I can be a thorn in somebody's ass when it comes to things that are not right. And I will research the shit out of this until something happens. Again, this is just Vic's take. I can be an asshole like that. Sorry. Yeah, I hate that for you, man. Now my 10 years are up and lost out on all the education benefit. Um, I wonder, being that you no longer have your GI Bill, I wonder if maybe you still have the ability to sign up for VRNE. I've not I've not explored that before. I know you have to have at least, I think it's 1 day left on your GI Bill, but if you have not exhausted it all and then they've just canceled it out for you, are you still eligible for that? I wonder. Is something that I would have to do some research on. Let me put this down in my handy dandy green logbook here. Oh shit! I'm freaking writing it down in my school notes, man. God damn. End of MGIB. 10 years. Still eligible for VRNE. No, Sergeant Stacking, you are starting the movement, my man. You brought it up. So I'll back it up with this. Okay. Remember the Rudisill Act? I don't know if you all remember that, but the post 9/11 GI Bill thing where Captain Rudisill, he was going in for his chaplaincy. He wanted to be a chaplain. This was probably 2024. He got with attorneys that brought it up to the Supreme Court. And in 2024, they won the case where he was trying to utilize the extra 12 months. It was 48 months on the Montgomery GI Bill and 36 months when you transfer over to the post 9/11 GI Bill. He wanted to use that extra 12 months that he lost. And the VA said, nope, you're capped at 36 months. He's like, well, that's BS because I already paid into that that extra 12 months, right? I should be getting a total of 48 months. Well, he got with an attorney. They took it up to the Supreme Court and they won that case. Now veterans get that extra 12 months. As far as I know, you still have to apply for it through the va.gov site. But if he would have just sat still and had just accepted that, nothing would have happened. You see, nothing would have happened. It wasn't until he actually rattled some cages and said, "Hey, I earned this. I want my extra 12 months because I need it for school." Without those 12 months, he would have had to pay out of pocket. So it wasn't me that started the movement, man. I mean, the movement is there. You just gotta find the folks who are in the same boat as you and start it off, kick it off, and potentially find an attorney who will work a veteran's case pro bono, potentially, no cost to you potentially, and see what happens there. It looks good for the the law firm, and it'll help veterans out. Yeah, they should. Yeah, I believe that as well. They should have been rolled over. And I remember when they gave me the choice, like, "Hey, do you want the GI Bill or do you want the 9011 GI Bill?" I'm like, "Well, what the hell's the difference?" And I had to sit there and actually read this stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm like, "Yeah, post 9/11 GI Bill, the forever GI Bill, right?" So give it to my family and stuff like that. So that's what I opted for. That's what I have right now. So, but yes, I agree. They should have been given the benefit of the better one. Yeah, they should have been applied to the Montgomery GI Bill as well. That's crazy that it's only 10 years, right? So just like somebody else in the comments mentioned, you got everything going on once you leave the service. You're still focused on raising your family. You're still focused on a career. And at some point, probably about 10 years out, maybe, I don't know, if you've done 40 years in the service, you're probably 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. You're 23 years old. Had to use my fingers for that. And 10 years down the road, you maybe are starting a family. Maybe you want to get back to school for career reasons. You're about 33 years old. Hey, I want to go back to school. Well, you can't. Pump the brakes there, soldier, Marine, airman, whatever you are. You can't because your JAB bill is exhausted or expired. Well, damn, now what do I do? They should have made it a forever GI Bill. They should have. I agree. We got we got life happening, right? Life is going on. That's some BS, man. I was speaking to somebody yesterday about this, and it was one of my classmates, and she had mentioned that the Rudisill Act is now automatic, but I'm going to look that up because I have not received anything. Um, Let me see. Rudisill. Um, okay. So I got an email here. It looks like 5 days ago. Goes to show you how much I read my emails, right? Let me share this thing here really quick. This is going to be fun. Okay. It says the Department of Veterans Affairs is making it easier for eligible veterans to receive their additional GI Bill benefits as a result of the Supreme Court's Rudisill decision and the United States Court of Appeals for Courts, Veterans Claims, Veteran Court Perkins decision. What steps should you take? There is no action for you to take. VA will automatically evaluate your file and inform you if additional action is required. If you already filed a claim and have yet to receive an official determination letter, please be aware that a decision is pending due to the necessary system update. How is the VA making it easier to receive these benefits? You are no longer required to request an assessment of eligibility for both Montgomery GI Bill and post 9/11 GI Bill under the two court rulings. Instead, VA will continue to review eligibility for veterans with less than 3 months of education benefits left and who are either currently enrolled in school or were enrolled in the last 6 months. Focusing on these high priority veterans means that no student will be left behind, will be left without benefits if they qualify for additional benefits under their either ruling. Additionally, VA is in the process of updating its systems to automate eligibility reviews. Oh, okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. On May 16, 2025, Veterans Court issued a presidential opinion in Perkins versus Collins. Relying on the Supreme Court's Rudisill decision, Perkins held that a veteran whose single period of service is long enough to qualify for veteran benefits under both Montgomery GI Bill and post GI Bill programs without using any period of time twice to establish eligibility is entitled to receive benefits under both programs up to a statutory 48-month cap on such educational benefits. VA estimates that Perkins' decision may enable as many as 1.2 million additional veterans to access up to an additional 12 months of education benefits. Okay. So just know that this is what's happening. The Rudisill thing where you had to apply for an extra 12 months, it looks like you no longer have to apply for an extra 12 months. That's what it is. So I'm still curious. Sergeant Stacken, you bring up a good point as well. I'm still curious about the Montgomery GI Bill. See if maybe this Rudisill Perkins update may have anything regarding the Montgomery GI Bill and the usage for those who may have lost it due to the 10-year time frame that may have lapsed or may have passed. So, yes. Welcome to the Green Law Book, Prince Dom G. Yes, VRNE can be a much better option than the GI Bill. I can confirm with you, Prince Dom G, that VRNE is currently a better option than the GI Bill. If you can get your foot in that door, it not only pays for tuition, it pays for a monthly housing allowance, it pays for a tech package, it pays for a whole lot. So, yes, it is a great option. Like I mentioned, I recently got an email from my counselor asking me what kind of laptop I want, and I told him I'd like a MacBook with a printer, please. And he thumbs up. He's like, "Hey, Roger that." He'll get it ordered. It'll come to me in the next 30 to 60 days or something. Excellent. I, I was not expecting a MacBook, and then I started reading on Reddit about all this stuff. Like, hey, yeah, you can request a tech package. They'll give you all this stuff, and then I have to go through the ergonomics section at the VA, the doctor, right? I guess to give the approval for this. I'm also requesting an ergonomic chair, another desk, a monitor, headphones, a transcription device so I can record the lectures while I'm sitting there, and it automatically transcribes it for me. It'll drop it to my Word document or whatever the hell, and it'll transcribe it for me. So I'm requesting all this stuff in order to make my school experience a successful one and a pleasant one. So excellent benefit. Excellent benefit. I couldn't agree more with you. So great information, great stuff. See what else we got here. Going back to the comments here. Yeah, so this live stream was all about little known veteran benefits, things that I've been researching that maybe I could share with the community. You know, we talked a little bit about, I think it was like 8 little known benefits that I shared on here. One of them being the VRNE, as I always mention. I love the VRNE. I'm going through it right now for the master's program in human behavior psychology, and about 90% of the my classmates are veterans as well. So they're either using their VRNE, or actually, no, none of them are using their VRNE. They're using their GI Bill benefits. And I think I'm the only one in the class using VRNE. I have not touched the post 9/11 GI Bill. So if you get information that, hey, We will not approve you because you still have GI Bill left. That is BS. I will tell you right now that I've never touched my GI Bill. I still have every bit of those months. It's soon to be 48 months. Um, I'm approved for VRNE for a master's program. So just FYI. We talked a little bit about the home loan programs, the IRRRL. Let me see. What's the other one here? The GI Bill reimbursement for licensing, certification, and national exams. We talked a little bit about CHAMP VA, the VA dental insurance program, VA life insurance options, burial allowances, foreign medical program, VA caregiver support. Just so many friggin' things that veterans get that a lot shit, I didn't even know about half of these. So a lot of stuff that is potentially at your fingertips. All you have to do is type it into Google, to Gunny Google, type it in there, apply for the thing. You got to apply for it. We can't just talk about it. You got to apply for this thing. Nothing will work unless you do, right? If only that tech package would give me cybernetic arms. Yeah. I mean, I suppose if you don't have arms, I don't know. Potentially, I don't know. My response to that is if you can justify it, you can potentially get it. If you can justify it, just like the VRNE, if you can justify it correctly, you can get it. Potentially, potentially. So, what else we got going on? Standing by. Working my way up to 10,000 subs, just FYI. Um, it's funny because sometimes I'll lose some, sometimes I'll gain some, sometimes I'll lose some, and I'm wondering, like, man, these people, do they not like my face? What's going on? So, um, I don't do it for the subs. I do it for the content and connection with folks out there. So that's really what matters to me. If the channel grows, it grows. If not, whatever. I love connecting with the veteran community. So that's all that matters to me, really. If you are looking to start a nonprofit, I mean, we talked a little bit about grants.gov. We looked at all this stuff here. Um, I mean, if you're looking at a veterans legacy program, you can be awarded a minimum of damn $50,000 or a maximum of $400,000 if you're looking to start some kind of nonprofit and get into one of these grants. Um, if you are looking to do a nonprofit, I would highly, highly recommend that you connect with or take a class on grant writing, because again, it is how you justify it. So it is how you request it. So grant writing is huge. Sergeant Stacken, man, I appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, gifted 5 Green Law Group memberships. I appreciate that. I'm still getting up to date on how all this stuff works. I have not dove in or delved into the whole YouTube analytics. And so when folks gift the memberships, I got to figure out exactly what that means, like how that exactly works. I've never noticed that button like when I go on live stream, so I don't. I appreciate you. I just got to do some research on it. So I'll add it to my list as well. I appreciate you, buddy. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, quick shout out too. For the longest time, I've been wanting to connect with a veteran coffee company, and I'm going out today to go get a bean grinder because I don't have one. I usually get my beans already ground, but I did connect with Veteran Brew Coffee Company. They sent me over their Sovereign blend, good stuff. At least it smells good. I have not tasted it yet, but it smells freaking amazing. And they're out of Texas, so shout out to them. Veteran Brew Coffee Company. Shout out to Veteran Brew Coffee Company. Appreciate you, man. Caesar and I forgot the other gentleman's name, but very good stuff. Yeah, absolutely, man. I can help answer questions when you. Yeah, so the big questions that I had was like the membership stuff, and another big question I had was the what was the moderator stuff? Because man, I was doing a live stream a while back, and anybody can jump on the live stream, right? Anybody can watch your comments. We've all been on live streams, and people are just writing some crazy off the wall trash. And I started seeing people write some, again, crazy off the wall trash on my live streams. And I'm like, man, how do I, instead of me going on each one and like trying to talk, trying to stay on topic, and then constantly, trying to take these comments off of the chat, I was like, man, how do I limit that? So then I started looking into like moderation stuff. And I think I had like Navy Cop as one. And I figured out how to do it for the longest time. But for the longest time, I just didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was like just clicking live stream and go. I just want to give this information to the masses. So yeah. But yeah, moderation, memberships, that's cool. So truly appreciate that. So when you gift the memberships, are you gifting it to specific people, or is it just up for anybody, up for grabs? I'm curious about that. Navy Cop, I'm limited when I'm at work, but I can mod as I can. Excellent, man. I know you're at work, buddy. I'm not trying to put you out there or anything like that. You gotta take care of number one. I got you. Oh, no crap. Algorithms decide who gets them. Wow, I didn't know that. So, um, how would that show up on people's end, like whoever the recipient's end? I wonder. Like, what does it just tell them on their YouTube, like, "Hey, you were gifted a membership"? I'm wondering. Yeah, I'm curious about that now. Like, how does man? You guys are filling up my my research stuff, man. This is fun. Let me see. Gifted memberships. Gifted memberships. Algorithm selected. So this is you all know that I have yeah, anybody, yeah. You all know I've shared it out here before. You all know that I have the other channel um that I'm updating and that I'm working on. Mostly for like fun because I enjoy doing this stuff. The other channel is called Vic Learns Content. Um, but a lot of that here, actually, let me share that on here. A lot of this is, and as I'm looking at it, is the algorithm. Like I was in a waiting room the other day and I started reading about this. Like, how does the algorithm work? And like the psychology behind it all, because it's ever since I dove into like this human behavior psychology, now I'm like kind of diving into how people get chosen for things or how the algorithm works to put things in front of me, and um, so I'll be talking a little bit more about that. Like, yeah, I'll share the link to my other channel here, Vic Learns Content. But then I was doing research on, um, colors, thumbnails or colors for thumbnails. There's that 30-second rule within YouTube that like if you don't connect with the audience within 30 seconds, you'll notice that your analytics go down, your viewership goes down. So certain colors, certain things you say, certain certain things that you put in front of a viewer alter all that. Um, Keeping people's attention. If you ever notice, especially like in kids programming cartoons, scenes usually change every 3 to 4 seconds because that is the attention grabber right there. If anything takes a little bit longer than that and stays on one scene for longer than that, then you're going to lose their attention. So it's very interesting how all this stuff works. Ah, okay, okay. So I'm glad you clarified that, man. That is, yeah, that does answer a lot of questions. Excellent. Switch code. And I'm curious, since you folks are the ones who frequent the channel the most, and I'm looking to do some deep dives on some things. What would be something that, maybe a topic or a subject that maybe you may be interested in hearing more about on future videos coming out? I'm curious. I have ideas of other topics that I want to bring up. I just want to make sure I'm curating things that maybe you all may want to hear about. Let me see. So I got to remember these colors now. Mods blue, members green. Vic visits TJ. It's not that far away, man. I've been to TJ many times. Yeah, it's not that far away. You can just walk across that bridge. It's right next to Las Americas, right? Las Americas is the big outlet store. A lot of back to school stuff, shopping goes on there. Um, but the cool thing about TJ is something I don't know how long it's been in service, but the flights from TJ Airport, from Tijuana Airport to like Central America and South America are like a lot less expensive by like the hundreds or potentially thousands than it would be from San Diego Airport, which is like 30 minutes away. They're like 30, 40 minutes away in distance. um, the crazy thing is I was looking at a flight to Mexico City at one point just to get away for like the weekend because it's only like what, maybe like an hour flight or something like that away. And from San Diego or even from LA, because randomly LA is a lot less expensive than flying out from San Diego. It was, God, it must have been like in the three or four hundreds. From the TJ airport, it was like $90, to go to Mexico City. And they had this cool thing where you pay for the service. It's like $50 or $20 or something, and you don't have to step foot across like the actual border. What you do is you go through a terminal. It's an airport terminal, and you go from the San Diego side, the San Isidro side, right, to Tijuana Airport. It takes you right into the airport, so you never actually step foot like on the ground in TJ, right? You're like in the airport there, and then you take your flight there. So it's completely safe. It looks awesome. So I was thinking about utilizing that myself. Um, Café de la olla. Yeah. So that's like famous like Mexican type of coffee. Yeah. El achiote. Yeah, they do. They still have the huge Mexican flag there. So when we do go to the outlets here in San Isidro, like going from San Diego to San Isidro, and you come down that hill, you see like the huge Mexican flag there. So it's still there. They still fly it. And I recall many years ago where you're driving down the highway and you get, gosh, there's a sign that says last US exit. I completely missed the exit. I drove into Mexico, and then coming back was, it was easy to drive in. Coming back was like 4 hours because you gotta, like, stand in line. Tony Slaughter, man, welcome, welcome. Chiapas, huh? Yeah. There was, yeah, I've been to TJ many times, man. As and y It used to be easier to go in, years ago when you were like when I was a young Marine. We used to go all the time to go party out there, and they had cheap drinks and stuff like that. Go to Rosarito and stuff like that. So it used to be so easy to go out there, but there was, and I just got to share this. This is freaking hilarious, man. Uh, yeah, this was. Please show me the photo of this. God dang. Uh, yeah, here we go. So this was in 2011, and I remember this clearly because I was stationed at Miramar, and there was like this whole. We got the report. Um, Let me see if I can pull it up here a little bit. Oh, come on, gosh, come on. Give me the larger photo. You guys gonna love this. Okay. So in 2011, there was a they caught a van coming through the border. They stopped the van, the border patrol and all that. They stopped the van, and they did some investigations on this. They brought the dogs around and all that, and they found that there was a van full of Mexican citizens that were trying to cross the border wearing Marine uniforms. And so the thing with this was they all had the same freaking name on their name tapes. So you can see them here. They were all sitting there, hands behind their head. They were all like Ramos or Ruiz or something. And I remember thinking, like, just change the name tapes. but, but I mean, they were all wearing the covers. They were all. This was it must have been 2011 or something. New details and arrests of immigrants posing as Marines. Um, this was wild. The vehicle wasn't right. They didn't know the Marine Corps birthday, and they failed to give the hoorah when asked to do so. Can you imagine, like, somebody who's never heard the hoorah, like, ask them, "Hey, what do we say?" No say. Um, when agents stopped the van near Pine Valley, none of the 15 people inside, including 13 illegal immigrants dressed as U.S. Marines, was able to give the day of the Marine Corps birthday. One agent, a former Marine, knew that tidbit gets drilled into recruits during basic training. So I remember being here, being stationed out here, and getting the MP report on the blotter. Right, anybody who's been in knows about this blotter. Um, but man, this was hilarious. Like, all these cats were caught. This is great. They're all dressed. It's easy to get these uniforms here in Southern California, but all these cats are dressed up as um, Marines. And nobody knew. I mean, it's easy to spot a Marine. I think so. So I would have easily just, especially like when they wear their covers as ball caps. Nobody does that like from the back to front. It's usually placed on top of the head. So you see this guy right here has like a ball cap there. So it's kind of easy. But that was a funny little tidbit that I remember when I was stationed out here the first time around, or the second time around really was a van full of illegal immigrants trying to cross the border, and they were all wearing Marine Corps uniforms, and most of them had the same name tape on there, and they were, they wondered like, why wouldn't you just change your name tape? Crazy. Um, okay, so specially adapted. Okay, Jason McMcCullough, specially adapted housing. I like that, man. Um, Specially. And as far I think what you mentioned, Jason, was you've gone through that before, right? Chicken dinner. Yeah, that's right. ¿Cómo se dice hola en español? Yeah, no sé. One of the funniest things was remember the Family Guy? He was on a train with a bunch of um, I don't know, Mexican folks. I don't know, Hispanic folks. I don't know where they were from, but the guy Brian, the dog, and he was talking to these folks, and they're saying something, and he's like, "Oh, good, you speak English." He's like, "No, I only speak that sentence I spoke, and this one explaining it." And he's like, "Really?" And the guy's like, "Okay." Freaking hilarious, man. I got to find that clip. Um, Thinking of name tapes when I was in Pendleton, we had like Five Garcia in my shop. Yeah, yeah, that's they're out there. They're out there. We had a few ours myself. We had like I think we had a Garcia and oh gosh, Gomez maybe. You said one of your staff sergeants got busted for taking uniforms from base to go leave and train the Mexican guys for a week and drive them back in vans. Wow, that is wild, dude. That's not cool. Oh gosh. I recall somebody getting hit. I don't know if it was a stash room, but somebody getting hit up for that, like bringing like immigrants or being like a coyote, right? Like bringing the folks over the border. I remember some Marine getting hit up for that too. The, the Marines have crayon markings around their mouth from eating crayons. Jason, yeah. When I went to a local VFW for the Marine Corps birthday, this past Marine Corps birthday, and we celebrated the birthday there. And they had a bunch of these like edible crayons like scattered around different tables at the VFW. And somebody had brought in regular crayons like as a joke, like not knowing that they were going to be like bubblegum crayons everywhere or candy crayons. And they put them on the counter, and the dude sitting next to me was just like chewing on the actual like wax crayons. He's like, "This tastes like shit." Yeah. I'm like, "'Cause they're real crayons, dude. What are you doing?" This dude eating real crayons. Yeah, yeah, I recall something like that at a battalion formation where they called them out at the battalion formation. It was like for, like, they called them out for, like, a public NJP or something. I can't recall what it was, but I remember they called them up to the front for something like that, and they were getting in some trouble. That's crazy. Hey, but you know what? Don't go smuggling, man. Don't go smuggling. That was part of the safety brief. Fridays when you leave for leave work, hey, if you're in Southern California, hey, don't go drinking and driving. Don't go no means no. You will look out for each other and don't go smuggling. That's your safety brief. Now go forth and do great things. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. They thought they were getting promoted. Let me see if I can find that. That's so freaking silly. Let me see. formation. For smuggling. Yeah, here we go. Let me know if you all can hear this. This is good. This is a good one here.
New video has surfaced of the arrest of 16 Marines 4 months ago at Camp Pendleton for their alleged involvement in a human smuggling ring. Now, an attorney for one of the Marines has filed a pretrial motion calling the public arrest unlawful command influence. News 8's Heather Hope spoke with the attorney and joins us with that video. Heather?
Carla, we have obtained clips of the arrest video on base, while the Marines attorney says
after I watched it, it was disturbing.
Footage has surfaced of the July 25th arrest where over a dozen Camp Pendleton Marines were taken into custody for an alleged smuggling ring.
The media officer for the Comstrat recorded.
As well, I think that might be the one that we were talking about. It was 16 Marines that got hit up, and it looked like it was like on Horno or something, and that's what it looks like back there. That's crazy. All right, so yes, thank you, Jason McCullough. I got that here. Specially adapted housing grant. Getting past eligibility is a mystery to me. I am eligible and received a letter. What letter did you receive? Like denied? What did they send you? I'm curious. They brought, yeah. So, yeah, good stuff. I appreciate that. Last little clip was just kind of a silly one that I wanted to throw out there. As we talked about going to TJ, and then there was talk about human smuggling and this and that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to do that, obviously. But I appreciate everybody for coming on, spending your morning with me, spending some time talking about VA benefits that you've earned, using those VA benefits. Excuse me, using those VA benefits, and just using the things that you've earned through your time in service. You raised your right hand. You joined the government, the military used your body as a tool to complete their mission, and you should use those benefits that are provided to you if you rate them. So definitely take that for what it's worth. As far as anything else, please hit me up. If you have my email, you got my email. If not, just comment below and let me know what you got going on. I truly appreciate every one of you. Please stay safe out there. If you have not signed up for VRNE, or if you have been rejected for VRNE, I ask you to sign up again. One of the most underrated, or one of the most slept on benefits out there. I'm going through it right now with a master's degree in human behavior psychology. They pay for the tuition. They pay for the monthly housing allowance equal to E5 BAH with dependents, which depending on where you live, if you live in San Francisco, it's like $5,000 a month for BAH out there. So incredible. Depends on where you live. But yeah, definitely use those benefits. I'll be doing some more research on this. Let me see. Tony Slaughter, did you check out Forgotten History? I have not checked out Forgotten History. No. Thank you for putting that on my radar. Podcast, right? Podcast. Yeah. So letter saying I am eligible. Okay. Yes, absolutely. So thank you all for joining me this morning. I got to get back into class. I got to get this stuff written, and then finish setting up my 3D printer that is going to be arriving here any minute now. So that's also exciting. Be sure to check out my other channel if you get a chance. Vic Learns Content. I think I have the link in the comments somewhere. Definitely check that out. And yeah, thanks for joining me on this episode of Coffee and Camaraderie on the Green Logbook. With that, stay safe out here. Bamses.